Good morning, guys. I'm going to talk through this week's grammar bell work quickly. As a reminder, we are not doing the e-binder anymore on OneNote. Again, I apologize for that. We tried our best, and you all tried your best, so I appreciate you. But just as a reminder, these notes are housed under class notes, which should be toward the bottom of the materials page on Schoology. So there's a kind of running document with everything on it, and then there's just the individual documents as well. So this week we are talking about something called complex sentences. We talked about compound sentences last week. The week before that, we were talking about complete sentences, and the ones we were looking at were just simple sentences. So now we are getting into more complex, no pun intended, sentence structures. Here we go. I'm just going to dive right in. You'll notice this says part 1 because next week we'll do part 2. There's kind of a lot to go with the complex sentences stuff. So I want to remind you of two things. Aside from just hoping that you become better grammarians through this, there are really two main reasons that we are reviewing all of this stuff. First of all, my hope is that it will help you become better writers. So the more that you practice writing and writing with different types of structures, the more variety your writing has, which is always better writing in general. Secondly, you do have the ACT coming up, I think in April. Who knows with COVID how or if that will change at all. But in the springtime or in the second semester at some point, you will be taking the ACT. We will talk way more about that as the school year goes on, but these will also be helpful sentence structures to know for that. So the first type of complex sentence we are going to talk about and review starts with something called a subordinating conjunction. You do not need to know or memorize, I guess, what a subordinating conjunction is. That is not something that the ACT is going to ask you. You can kind of reference this chart down here to just kind of recognize some subordinating or subordinate conjunctions. These are not all of them. There are many, many, many more, but these are some really common ones. So the type of complex sentence we're talking about today begins with one of those. And because we have this, really, it makes this first part of the sentence incomplete. So if I came up to you and said, since I was late to school, okay, that's incomplete. Well, what happened since you were late to school? There's still a lot missing from that sentence and from that thought. So we want to add on more. And in this case, we are going to add a complete thought to it. So we have, since I was late to school, I missed my grammar quiz. Some things to note. This is an incomplete thought. This is a complete thought. So just note that we are starting with incomplete this week. We are ending with complete. In the middle, when we start with an incomplete thought and we end with a complete thought, we need a comma in the middle. If you are someone who can naturally hear pauses, listen to this sentence as I speak it. Since I was late to school, I missed my grammar quiz. There is a brief pause right where the comma is, which is exactly what our comma is indicating. So just keep that in mind, that comma just indicates a slight pause. So I've already really gone over this, but just to note, what we're looking at this week is a complex sentence that starts with the subordinating conjunction, and therefore the beginning of the sentence is incomplete. We add it on to a complete thought with a comma in the middle, and we have a complex sentence. So here's just another example down here. Even though it was storming outside, I had to mow the lawn. So we have the same parts of the sentence here, and we have our comma in the middle. That's all I have to say. You'll be doing some practicing recognizing where commas go in this week's grammar bell work, so be sure to use this document and or this video to help, and happy grammaring. Bye.